Pre-show. Good evening. It's Wednesday at 9 p.m. This is the Whatnot Podcast. I'm Mike Z.
And I'm Chris, and we're here to talk about wood and whatnot. And tonight we got special guest. Dang it, I knew I'd do it wrong. Kylie Lee
Where
from
there he is over there.
LearnYourCNC.com. And welcome back. You know, this is a repeat customer.
Yeah,
Third timer.
Yeah, look at you.
You don't have
Man.
to say you're a lot more comfortable and smiling, which
Yeah.
is
I
rare
was-
to see.
I was laughing at the intro there.
You like that future Patriot?
yeah, I like that.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I'd make them special every time.
Somebody's a glutton for punishment coming back here.
And now that he is free, I would like to get Gerald Vance on as well in the future here, Appalachian.
Make that a we, because I would like it too.
Kyle would too.
Is he a free agent now?
He got his I think his grant figured out, so now he can go demolish his reputation on podcasts like this. Yeah.
By the way, congratulations, Mr. Vance.
Yeah.
Well deserved, my friend. Well deserved.
Congratulations indeed. So tonight we are talking Learn Your CNC, but more importantly, the new upgraded Learn Your CNC Academy.
That's right.
Yeah, this has been in the works a little while, and we'll talk about that. That's for sure. And I want to hear a little bit about your visit to Workbench Con.
Workbench Con. Yeah, that was
That
fun.
was your first one, so I want to hear how excited and some of the things you did.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. First time Workbench, first time in Georgia too. So
Oh,
two firsts there. So
well, sorry
There's no
about the
snow
second one.
there.
yeah,
Normally.
funny story about that is I got back, and this week I look at the weather. I'm like, man, it's 60 all week here in Pennsylvania. This never happens this early. And here I was still stuck in Atlanta weather app. I was telling everybody, man, it's 60s all week this week.
They're
And then I
probably
woke
looking
up.
at you like,
I woke up to snow today. Disappointed.
well, welcome to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Yeah.
so tell us first about why did you go? What were your expectations of Workbench Con?
I really went with no expectations at all. I just wanted to go to not only just check it out, to network with other people and just to see what all the hype was about.
Hmm.
And it definitely lived up to its expectations.
That's cool. So, and they had sessions where you could, is it like classes?
Yeah. So basically there's like, I think there's like 3 or 4 time blocks a day. And there's multiple classes going on at the same time. So the nice thing was you didn't have to go to one specific class. You could pick and choose what you wanted to go to. But if you were to miss one, the next day they have, sometimes they repeat the classes. So you have
That's
a
good.
chance to get to multiple classes.
Cool.
That's good.
So, what was your what's one that you picked that you were excited to go see?
One I really liked was the Izzy Swan class. He's teaching like how he thinks creatively and different ways to think of creative ideas. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, his brain doesn't work like normal people brains.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
Very
most
cool.
people wouldn't completely destroy a Toyota Tundra.
On purpose.
Unless you're
Upgrades.
Jeremy Clarkson.
Give it time.
Of course,
I'm
that
sure he
was a
could do something.
that was a Tacoma though that they destroyed, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the Hilux over there. But okay, so you got classes, networking. So how
Oh
did
yeah.
that?
So I met way more people there than I thought I was going to. It was just all day, every day. You're just talking to new people, and that was definitely the best part. The classes were great, but meeting other people was even better.
Because everyone's from a different walk of life, which is kind of neat, but all kind of doing the same thing.
Exactly.
So how many people were kind of shocked to find out that there was something like Learn Your CNC Academy available?
I talked to a lot of people, and there's a lot of people into CNCs, and some of them said that they bought it, tried to use it for a little bit, and then it's just sitting in their garage, not doing anything. So I told them about my classes and everything, and they said they would definitely check it out. I did have a few people sign up from the event too.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Very cool. Yeah, because that's probably the best thing about it is that you're giving support to people who do exactly that. They get it, they get into the hype, they're excited, they have a lot of possibilities they can do, but then it kind of fizzles a little bit because it's some of the software part is tough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where everybody said they had the biggest struggle, because most people are woodworkers. They're not good with computers. So when
Mhm.
you get into the CNC world, you're using computers a lot. So that's definitely an area they struggle in.
Hence the first initial in CNC, computer.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. But
Let's see. So all of Kyle's pictures, by the way, he hardly ever smiles. Even when he takes trips to Hawaii, it looks like he's being burdened to be in front of the camera. And I always like to pick on him because it's funny. But so we've got you met Mr. Izzy Swan
That's right.
and then Nick Starrett.
Yes. Yeah, me and Nick have been talking for a long time, probably 3 or 4 years, and we never met in person, but I found out he was going there, so we met up there and we hung out most of the time there.
Cool.
It's a great time.
And then this is their setup. So they had, is this where the classes were? Or were the classes in a completely different room?
Yeah, this was like the main like gathering area, they called it.
Okay.
They had like just speeches there, and then the classes were all in separate rooms.
Very nice.
There's probably 6 other rooms that they had classes in.
Looks comfortable. I think that gentleman in dead center looks really familiar. Kind of looks like Michael Portman, Woodshop Mike. Anyways, he was on the podcast. So I'm taking it the image on the right was like a resin pour with everyone's stickers in it.
Yeah, so you just drop your sticker off there, and they were pouring a layer of resin, putting a layer of stickers, and then just keep going up as they poured more layers on there.
I'm interested to find out what they do with that after the fact, 'cause that's kind of a neat idea.
Yeah, mine got buried, so before I left, I threw one more sticker in there. Hopefully it would get on the top.
There you go. I was gonna say I noticed a lot of people didn't cover over Duristas. There's some respect right there.
Yeah, and the picture on the left is all the people I met. We all swapped stickers. So if you ever do go, make sure you bring stickers or business cards.
oh, nice. You met Woodcraft.
Who's that?
I said, I see that you. It was. I said, must be nice. You met Woodcraft.
Oh yeah, I met Woodcraft. Yep.
Yeah, I see you met yourself too a couple of times in there. I'm just
I
kidding.
did. I kept bumping into myself there, and so I just swapped stickers with myself.
And then so Mr. Paul Jackman, now famous Netflix guy, but what was he demonstrating with the hat and the foam?
So I'm not sure the beginning of that story. I kind of walked in on that, but I think they were using that foam stuff, and it got stuck to the cups. I don't know if that was intentional. And then I just walked over there, and they're wearing them on their head.
Gotcha. I was curious about that. And then someone sent me a picture that they had spotted you in the wild.
Yeah, I had
Mr. JP.
paparazzi there after me.
Oh, there's a good question. Hold on one second. Let me get out of that.
Like a walking marketing board. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So question at Workbench Con, did they have any old school woodworking?
They did have like timber framing. They had a class on timber framing.
Was that Justin?
I'm not sure. I didn't go to that class.
Okay.
As far as old school woodworking, I don't think they had like, I'm not sure if they had like hand planes or anything like that. I didn't see any of those.
Yeah, because I think a lot of it's kind of if you're an influencer or someone on Instagram or YouTube, how do you grow your audience? How do you manage your making at the same time as running your brand? So there's a lot more sessions on that.
I would say probably 60 to 80% of the classes were about social media and business sense.
Good evening, Mr. Gary Jones. John and Michelle, hello. And then Mr. Robert Jennings would like to say, thank you, Kyle, for all the info you have given us.
Not a problem.
All right. Chris, you all right over there? You're kind of
Yeah. It was like I swallowed a dust ball or something off my little microphone thing, and it was like
looking a little red.
Yeah, I was like, I know you're muted, but hey, you look like you were in pain there for a minute.
I thought I would save you the hassle of how am I going to edit that out?
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Gosh, thank you so much. Yeah. If you have to drop out, just shut off your camera. I'll love you even more.
It's gone.
All right. So this is the free giveaway of Black Diamond Pigment.
Yeah. So I don't even know how many tables are there. There's probably over 50 tables there that look like that. And they're basically giving them away as candy.
Wow.
Wonder how many drug dealers snuck in and
got the wrong baggie.
Yeah, I was worried about going on the plane with those bags.
Yeah, that'll go over well with TSA. What's in the bag, sir? Pigment?
Just smell them. I promise it won't make you high.
New brand called Black Diamond.
That sounds like something straight out of GTA.
Yeah, you start with the white and work your way up to the red. When you get to the red, you've gone way too far.
Yeah, you see all these? That's what they give you just for walking in the door.
Kyle's at expert level.
Yeah. When you walk in the door, they give you have to check in, and they give you your little name tag here. That's so you can get around. And then they give you a big bag full of free goodies.
On that name tag, did you customize that slightly?
Yeah, they recommend you put your sticker on there. Perfect. So I just threw my sticker on there. And in the back, I had my business card, and you can scan the QR code. So you can go right to the website.
Smart, using QR codes. Look at that. Mr. Chris Miller wants to know what is in that cup. Oh, that's Chris's cup. I get it. Don't edit. Yeah, John, we try not to edit any of this out. That's why some of them are long, but it's whenever a guest drops out, trying to put that audio back in sync is a pain. But that's my burden, and I enjoy it. It is what it is.
Yeah. When they all come back in, we should do a 3, 2, 1. That way you have audio and video to sync.
I was really thinking about getting one of those dog clickers and just sitting here, just clicking it. Then everyone would be like, why does he keep doing that? People keep leaving. Anyways.
He's got a thing.
So I am going to share your finishing storage because that is one of my favorite things. Now, is this something you made on the CNC?
The sides. Yeah, the sides I made on the CNC. The shelves were made on the table saw. But
you cut out the sides to go on. Okay. No, see, and is that a plan or something that you have?
I got recommended to make that a plan quite a few times, so I think I better get on that. I'll put that on my website.
Very good.
Just something I had a need for. I made it and just saved on my computer.
No, because look how many aerosol cans you're able to fit in that small space. Like I really like this. Hey, Chris, whenever you have free time and Kyle has those plans, like to utilize this storage.
I looked at it and thought, man, if I only used colors, that would be perfect. Everything I do is typically clear or some kind of sheen and not much of a color. I'd have to still mark the caps or put a mark on the board.
Could you not do something on the end right there? I'm sorry, Kyle.
It's okay.
Well, the end, I mean, who knows how many different cans you're going to have up there. You could have satin semi-gloss and gloss of one style or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I got a thought. I should take a picture of my shelf that just has everything shoved on it, and I don't care where it would be. It'd be way better organized than that.
Yeah, the whole reason I made that is because I used to have like a little cheap cabinet, and there were probably 3 or 4 rows back of spray cans and paint cans. And sometimes I would look for one, I couldn't find one, so I'd buy a new one. And then I find later I already had like 2 or 3 of them. So you end up buying more that you didn't even realize you had.
That's
So
true.
I made a shelf where you can only fit 1 row of everything. So you could see just visually by looking at it what you have.
See, it is awesome. I'm telling you, a lot of people would probably enjoy it because if you had the plans and if they didn't have a CNC, even if you just sold the sides, people can then use their table saw to make that and, kind of create it. But yeah, use
I
a
even
small
thought
labor
about
worker.
I even thought about making like a flat pack where you can cut the parts out and ship them. Even just the sides. I can cut the sides, ship them, and then whoever wanted to make the shelves could make it any length you want.
Now, I know some of your people who take the academy might be listening, but it might be a really good beginner CNC project and just have them mail you the parts. Have
No,
them
it
cut them all out.
would be a good beginner project.
Yeah, Chris, Scott Houston, one of our Patreons over at patreon.com / What Not Podcast. He says that he would take one of those in his free time. So he'll like one too.
Well,
There you go.
he's got a big enough shop. He just needs to buy a CNC, and I'll come help him learn how to use that. That'll
Thank
save
you.
him all kind of time.
I'll hire Chris to be my flat pack maker.
It's not a bad idea. Mr. Angus says, what is the CNC black magic you all speak of? Wizards. Well, let's find out what Learn Your CNC Academy is. Here's the first. So, okay. You take me through this. I have the graphics. You've seen them, so you know.
Okay, so
Tell me about it.
This is my new updated version of the course. So this will be replacing the old course. So over 2 years of training, I've learned a lot of how to teach and how to make things easy to go through. So over those 2 years, I've came up with this better system here. And this way I broke it down into easy sections where you can, as you see here, we have the first level is a boot camp. So that basically gets everybody started on the basics of Vectric software. And then after that, I split it up into a 2D design level, and that will teach everything you need to know to design projects. And then after that, you would need to go to Toolpaths, and then that would be the next level, and that will teach you everything you need to know about making toolpaths for projects. And then after that, we have the gadgets. So that's a section for some of the different Vectric softwares, the Pro versions and the Spire. So that's a section all by itself. Then I have 3D modeling that I made for VCarve and Aspire only, which is kind of the basics of 3D modeling. And then I made an advanced level only for Aspire. So that Aspire software has much more options for 3D modeling. So I split those up into levels by themselves as well. And then finally here we have Rotary Lessons. These are the lessons I'm actually working on right now. They have basic Rotary lessons for VCarve and Aspire. And then there's going to be some more advanced lessons for Aspire only that deals with 3D in a Rotary form. And then also I have the live weekly class that I take students' projects that they're struggling with. They send them to me. And then every week, every Thursday night, we go over their projects and answer any questions in a live Zoom meeting. So everybody gets all their questions answered.
Very cool. And that's all included, or is that an extra?
So
the
live class is a separate course because that one is kind of all by itself. That one focuses more on students' projects that they're having issues with. And then every lesson is recorded and uploaded to that separate course where anybody that's in the course can replay them as many times as they want.
Gotcha. So if someone wants to lurk, has an issue, but doesn't actually want to come out and say it, they can kind of go back and view it later.
And the nice thing too, in the live meeting, it's a Zoom meeting, so you can talk to me at the same time, or you can just type your question in the chat. So you don't have to be on camera or anything.
And I've personally sat through a few of those live ones, and I'll usually go back and try to catch even more of the ones that I can't can't watch because of certain time restrictions. And man, I'll tell you, I love them. Great job.
Yeah,
Thank
I like
you.
it. I like it broken down. So looking at the breakdown here, someone could start the master course and then build on top of that, or is there like a deal if you buy the master course? How does this work as far as if I'm looking to purchase this?
So I split it up in the new course. I split it up for VCarve users, where they get everything they need to know for VCarve. And then I split it up for Aspire users, so they get the additional training for Aspire. That way, somebody using VCarve does not need to know anything for the Aspire lessons. So they're going to be split up in 2 separate courses. And then you can always upgrade if you upgrade to Aspire as well. And then the live class is a separate class as well, like I said earlier.
Okay, so John says he has VCarve Pro. Can it be upgraded to Aspire, and is it worth it?
I only recommend Aspire if you want to create your own custom 3D models. Otherwise, VCarve can do everything that Aspire can.
Okay. Which one is it that you can take the picture and upload it? Is that VCarve Pro?
You mean like carve a picture that you upload?
Yeah.
That you could do that in basically all the softwares
Cool.
for Vectric.
Are
Unless
you
you
talking
wanted to
about
make it.
I think he may be talking about a 3D picture.
Well, like you did one time, Chris. You
Yeah,
had a
that
picture.
would be Aspire
Oh,
because
okay, yeah.
it required a lot of manipulation and modeling of that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
photo.
say. Unless it's 3D model and 3D picture, then you're going to have to use Aspire.
Okay. And Forrest says, as one of your current students, he's looking forward to the new rollout of the new format. Sorry.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the rollout of the new format. I'm looking forward to it. It's been what, a year and a half since we first started talking, and you were starting to build this.
All right. Evie says, can you explain rotary? So yeah, that's like a table leg, like a spindle, and rotary is just like a round object. And some CNCs have the option to carve rotary, or they have a 4th axis that spins. It's like basically a lathe that's computer controlled.
Yeah, see, Angus, that's why you want to get one, because then you can just get rid of the lathe. He has a rotary phone.
That works too.
Does it still work though?
Dial?
It doesn't connect to Vectric though. Sorry.
Oh man.
Press 1 to sign up for LearnYourCNC.com now.
Press 2 for Spanish.
I hear rotary phone, and all I think of is just that noise that it made to connect to the internet.
Oh, you mean like AOL?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Then if someone picked it up, you got booted.
Yep. I grew up in those days.
Oh, they were so much fun. Let's see here. So,
I feel so old.
Yeah, anyone have any questions for Kyle? Please feel free to either, obviously leave them now live. He'll answer them as we go, or in the comment section below, by all means. Or you can go to LearnYourCNC.com. Check it out on Facebook. Is it, what is it on Facebook? Just Learn Your CNC?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a Facebook group too, the Vectric Tips and Tricks. There's over 20,000 people there now, and it's really grown a lot, and people are really getting good questions answered and asked there.
And one thing that I will say that I really like about that group, because I'm part of a lot of CNC Facebook groups, is I get so tired of people going on there and constantly asking for files and files and files. And your group, it's a lot about the community helping the community. And I love that aspect about it. It's just, it makes it so nice when you can go on there and post something and you're not going to get bashed because you did something wrong. They're going to encourage you. And if you go on and ask a stupid question, they're not going to just, belittle you in front of the whole community. They come along and they help, even if it's the question that's been asked 100 times. Everybody comes along, and it's a very supportive group. So if you're looking to get into CNC and you don't like to be bashed and you don't like to be constantly harassed about, selling you files, go check that out.
Yeah, that was definitely hard to get to that point, because I know a lot of groups are like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I made the rules for try to keep that to a minimum. And anytime I see it happen, either somebody reports it or I take it down. So I try to keep it as user-friendly for a beginner as possible.
Mm. And you do a good job about bringing in and giving them some of those freedoms, just to let them feel like the group's not just shut out. You have
Yeah.
days where talk about yourself or show off your goods, or you show your shop. I mean, you do a lot of stuff like that where
Yeah.
it,
So
it's
the
not just
problem I've seen with most groups is it's always people advertising or looking for files over and over again. So what I did was I said no public post for that. I'll have one post a week where in the comments you can advertise all your businesses and look for files. So like find a file Friday, self promotion Saturday, stuff like that, where people still have that freedom, but it's not scattered all over the group.
Mhm.
It's all in one spot.
Yeah,
No,
there's been
actually,
a
it's a
couple of
smart
times
way
where
to
I've
do
had
it.
to go look at the history and find those old posts and go look down there because I remembered seeing something in there but didn't have time to deal with it at the time. So yeah, that's a great place. You can just go find that day that you saw it, and you can go easily locate that
Yeah.
comment.
And my favorite ones is I do the what you're working on Wednesday. And not too many people share pictures of what they're working on unless you make a post like that. And then sometimes there'll be hundreds of comments of all these different unique projects that everybody's working on. And that's a really good place to get ideas for
Mhm.
stuff you want to make.
And there's also that if you post something in a group and maybe you don't post a whole lot, or you've been lurking for a while, that you only see like 4 or 5 people see it, or like it or something like that, that those kind of posts that you do encourage them to post, because then people are going to be looking at it.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. We got a question here. Will the current students of the class be able to use the new class?
Yeah, good question. So yeah, all the students from the current class are going to be moved over there, and that'll be next week actually. So no additional cost or anything. It's just going from one course to the other, and then the other one, once everybody's moved out of, will eventually be expired.
Mhm.
And then the new one will be the one and only course.
So I think that answers this next question here, which is, when is the rollout for the new format?
Yep. As long as everything goes good, it should be Monday. Next Monday.
Very good. And
Yeah,
see,
John's question was the one that I was going to ask, but hey, since he asked it, we'll let him.
we'll go ahead and you can read it.
We'll let Kyle read it.
All right. Will you ever have class that helps with laser? Okay. I've done simple text words, but wondering how to import picture and laser. So are you talking like a JTech laser attached to your CNC or a standalone CO2 laser? Those will be very different. But yeah, I do have a laser myself, both the JTech and the standalone CO2. And I have considered making classes for those as well.
Well, it sounds like you have lesson 8 and 9 covered, or excuse me, level 8 and 9
Level.
covered.
Yeah. Get it right.
We'll have to do a whole new level system for those.
That's just as popular. There's some people that don't want to get into the CNC but are really utilizing a laser.
Yeah, I have noticed lasers have been definitely getting more popular recently.
Let's see here. Yeah, so rotary would be good for ornate table legs or bedpost, or recreating. Because see, that's why I was curious about the
Mhm.
Aspire, is that in doing antiques, that sometimes it'd be great if you could just take a picture of it and import it into something and be able to actually recreate it if it's broken, like a broken leg. You have 4 of them, one's broken. It'd be nice to recreate it.
Yeah, recreating is definitely harder than creating from scratch because you
Yeah.
have that added element of has to be exactly the way the other ones are. They do make like 3D scanners and stuff you can buy to create 3D models with, but some of those can be expensive. I did
That's
find one recently that's recently priced. I don't know how good it is. I was thinking about buying it, trying it out.
You should. So yeah, John says attached to the CNC.
Okay, so yeah, that's probably like a JTech laser then. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be adding some lessons for that to the course using the Vetric laser module. I've been testing that out for since it came out, and when it first came out, it was a little lacking some features, but they've definitely been updating it with the new updates they've been rolling out.
Well, and see, the problem that I've got is certain manufacturers, they're their lasers won't create that shading effect without using something third party first, because of the communication between the controller and the JTech laser. It can either give you shade or no shade, laser or no laser.
Hmm.
So, that's one of the hiccups that, Axiom's working on, and they've come up with a third party option that gives you some of that shading, but it's not a true transition from that new laser module that Vectrix got.
Yeah, they're pretty limited on what machines they support right now, but I know they've been working on adding more machines to support with.
Mm-hmm.
And I did notice, like I go on the Vectric website a lot, and sometimes you go down a rabbit hole somewhere and you stumble on something. And one time I seen like a Vectric laser software. It's like they're almost making a dedicated software for lasers. So I'm thinking that might be something they roll out in the future.
Yeah.
What he means by rabbit hole, he was in the code. Gerald's got a good question. Can you recreate a Cabrio leg on a CNC?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know my leg terminology. I'd have to see one.
Think of a hockey puck.
The uniqueness of a fourth axis or rotary on a CNC is it doesn't matter how many curves or bumps or twists it has. You can even carve animals all the way down at a rotation around the spindle, because you're unlike a lathe where you can only turn like beads and coves.
Yeah.
Unless you're using something weird. The CNC is slowly rotating, and you've got a router that's just moving back and forth. And so if it has any ups and downs, I mean, it can do, your only limitation is the gantry height or the height of your actual fourth axis.
Yeah. Yeah. With lathes, everything basically has to be symmetrical, and CNCs, you don't have that issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, because I saw a leg manufacturer that was in Hickory. It shut down, but they had a duplicator that was very much like a CNC before CNC was really a thing, and basically it was all mechanical. So I know it's possible with the fourth axis. Would you ever consider doing a class on the controller software? Asks Dan.
That controller software I've actually never used, so I don't really have a machine that works with that one. I try not to get too specifics on controller software because there's so many different ones.
Mm-hmm.
Every machine's different, so that's a tough one. That's almost like a basically one-on-one. You'd have to go over that.
And some machines have proprietary software.
Yeah.
Like you can't operate a Shark on anything but either the handheld controller or their ready to carve, or not ready to carve. Ready to carve. And then digital wood carvers got their own proprietary. Axiom doesn't even use a software. Everything they do is based on the controller.
Yeah.
So, there's so many different variations of that.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with them all too. I do a lot of one-on-one trainings too, and I just recently did one with a guy in Canada, and he needed help with the machine they use there with the G code, and I found out they make proprietary G code. It's like a code I've never even seen before. It's like its own secret code, so you can't edit it. It's crazy.
Man. So one-on-one, just a sidetrack for one quick second. One-on-one is offered through Learn Your CNC Academy.
It's on my website. You can schedule. I have like my calendar there. You can schedule a one-on-one training, and that's just like pay for 1 hour, and we'll have a one-on-one Zoom meeting, and then I record it and send it to you afterwards. So you have that recording.
Let's see. Here's a good. Okay. So he was saying that Stepcraft is using the UC CNC.
Yeah, that's kind of what I assumed you were using there.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a pretty good question. Looking at new computers, does Aspire and Mach 4 run on Windows 11 well?
I know Aspire will. I'm not sure about Mach 4.
I think
I,
really
I
would RAM come down to a factor there? Not necessarily the processor speed because they're all kind of around the same now, but would more RAM help?
yeah, I think Aspire recommends at least 4 GB of RAM, but of course more is better.
Always.
So
Yeah,
I think
Mach 4, it wouldn't take much. I mean,
Mach
it's a
4 is not.
minimal hit on the system.
Mach 4 is like basically like a word processor.
Mhm.
Okay.
You've seen what Izzy's was running on his, right? When you were down there at Izzy's shop, Michael,
Mm-hmm.
he was running 3 on
Mach
his.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Was,
It's like
was
a word
that on the
processor.
Phantom or the Avid?
Avid.
Yeah.
He didn't have the Phantom yet. Now he's all Phantom, which is fine. It's cool.
Yeah, I got to meet them there, and actually, I was just on the phone with Phantom yesterday. So
Thinking about upgrading?
no, not yet.
Oh man, I thought we'd have you heard it here first. Dang it.
Phantom told me though their phone's been off the hook since Workbench Con. They can't stop the phone from ringing.
That's good. It's a good problem to have.
As long as
Business.
they don't skimp on the quality.
Yeah, definitely. No, I looked them over really good there. They're really nice machines and very good price. I don't know how they do those prices.
Okay, so real quick for those who may not know Kyle's background, give us a little bit on your background to why you looking over the Phantom actually does make a difference versus, just it's a nice machine, if you will.
Okay, so yeah, I've been in the CNCs for probably 12 or 13 years now, and my last full-time job I had was working for New York City, all the big clients there, and I ran 3 different very large industrial machines. So I definitely have a lot of experience with the bigger machines, and then I also have a lot of experience with the smaller hobby machines.
Ones that you can put together in your own bedroom.
Exactly. Those ones are more DIY machines.
I think that actually makes a lot more sense of why you're well-rounded in the CNC realm is because you've been around the machines that are thousands and thousands of dollars and then also put together your own in the bedroom, so you've seen every aspect of it. You kind of know all the different ways that they can be put together. So I think that gives you a little bit more clout as to, why you would want to check out Learn Your CNC Academy at learnyourcnc.com. Or is it learnyourcncacademy.com?
It's actually academy.learnyourcnc.com.
That's too long. I can't remember all that.
I'll give you a short link.
Well, just when you think it's Learn Your CNC Academy, stop saying it and flip it. Instead, say academy.learnyourcnc.com.
Yeah, flip the logo upside down.
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh. Let's see. Yeah, you computer guys. Yeah, Angus likes to say that he has a 2017 Ram 2500. Well, I think I see your problem.
I have a 2000.
You have a 2000 Ram?
2500, yeah.
There you go. Is it the
Diesel,
three-cylinder? Three-cylinder Cummins?
6.
Oh, yeah. You definitely got it. Okay.
Yeah, I bet she's thirsty with all these gas prices.
Not when it's parked for the winter.
I was going to say, that's the beauty of, running your own place.
Yeah, now that I work from home, I just don't spend money on gas, so I don't have to worry about it.
Sorry, Chris. It's wonderful. I don't really want to go to the pump tomorrow, but it's wonderful. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm trying to think. So it's academy.learnyourcnc.com.
Correct.
Okay, well, I got to get that real quick on the banners here.
And you can still access it from learnyourcnc.com.
Okay.
Learnyourcnc.com is the main website with like the blog and everything, and then the Academy website is the actual course itself.
So while Mike's learning to type, I'm going to roll back a little bit, and I want to ask you, does those have capital letters in them, or are they also lowercase? Just curious. Asking for a friend.
Caps don't matter.
Yeah. I want to ask about Workbench kind of question. So you went to all those classes, and you saw all those cool people. Who was the coolest person you met there? Ooh, hot seat question.
Definitely Izzy.
Oh.
Izzy was the only one I cared about meeting there. And the funny story is I checked into the hotel, went up to my room, dropped off my bags, had to come down to check into Workbench Con. And who do I share the escalator with? Izzy and Maggie, just them two on the escalator with me. I was like, oh, didn't know I'd meet you the first thing. So me and him
Perfect.
talked for a little bit there, and then the next morning I went over to talk to him, and all I cared about was getting a picture with him. And then he actually sat me down, and we talked for a good while there, and had a really good conversation.
Very cool. And of course, didn't smile. But so,
What can I say?
in meeting Izzy, was it what you thought it would be?
I like I said, I had no expectations going there, so I try not to have too many expectations for anything, and just kind of live in the moment there.
That's a
So it
great
was
way
really
to
good.
do it. That's a great way to do it.
Okay, then. What was well, you already talked about the funnest class. I don't know. Well, I'm going to get too crazy with some of the questions, and some
You want to know
people
what I had for
get-
lunch or breakfast or dinner?
What did they serve? There you go. What did they serve for lunch? Did they provide lunch?
Yeah, they provided breakfast and lunch. Breakfast was okay. Scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, stuff like that. And then lunch, both days were different. So first day, I don't remember what it was first day. The second day I remember is burritos, because the night before, I went to Chipotle for my first time and had a burrito. And then the next day at lunch, it was burritos. Make your own burritos for lunch.
Yeah, perfect. Now, what did you get when you were at Chipotle? I'm curious.
I got a burrito. It was my
What
first
meat?
time there. Steak, rice, and I don't remember what was all in there.
I mean,
It's
you
pretty
didn't
good.
branch out and get like carne asada or something else. I mean, you just went
Barbacoa.
I want
I don't-
steak.
I don't go for all that fancy stuff.
Like, I don't even know what that is. Just give me steak.
Just give him Scrapple. He'll be fine. Do you eat Scrapple?
Yeah, I've had it before.
We have liver mush down here. Basically same thing. Probably said
Okay.
it wrong, but yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Scrapple. I played Scrapple as a kid. That's how I learned to spell.
Oh, Lord. I'm just really glad that I spelled this correctly, which is academy.learnyourcnc.com.
There you go.
I did have to go back and check.
Hmm.
So we have
Very
already
cool.
answered it, Team Chamfer, Team Roundover. So we don't have to get into that and make Chris feel bad. Did you see last week's Kyle, by the way?
I did.
That was hilarious how he just happened to drop out magically during
Yep.
that time.
I should have made a bunch of hashtag Team Chamfer stickers and handed them out at Workbench
That's awesome.
next year.
You know what? If that's the case, I'm taking time off next year and I'm making hashtag Team Roundovers.
There we go.
And each of the O's is going to have my logo in the middle of it.
Oh, now we're getting fancy.
Oh, now you're getting good.
And when your Team Roundover gets in the epoxy, I'm going to put my Team Chamfer right over top of it.
Yeah. Team Chamfer needs to have just like a slash because it's just that cool.
There you go.
So what is Scrapple? Scrapple's kind of like all the leftover parts of processing a pig put together into a brown patty of sorts.
Sounds delicious.
It does, but it is really good when it's nice and crispy. Yeah.
You fry it up. Some people like it on a biscuit. Some people like it on toast. Some people like it with a little mustard. I don't like it at all. So there you go.
Yeah, definitely got to have a runny egg and some mustard.
I was raised on the farm. I don't eat that.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even see this, Dan. Got to see a 15-foot Y-axis and a 25-foot X-axis by 12-foot Z-axis for making boats. Was very humbled with my small CNC.
That's a big one. That's a bigger one than I've ever seen in person. I've seen pictures of ones like that. Yeah, those ones are definitely specialized.
Big time.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how heavy that gantry must have been.
Gotta be.
And the supports and the bed to be able to support all that.
Would you think there'd be a large amount of electricity going to that CNC?
Probably.
Hey, come check out my 3-inch ball screw running all this CNC axis here.
I would be interested in how much a tool costs for one of those.
That's a good question.
The tool, you probably have to have 3 guys to carry it.
Be like, okay, Izzy, I'll see your 700 inches a minute and I'll raise you 1,000.
Probably more than that.
Yeah, if you're making boats, that's some big money right there.
And when I was working for Klingspor and I was working with some of those CNC operators, I mean, those people were complaining that they wanted, 900, 1,000, 1,200 inches a minute. I'm like, well, you're going to have to find another bit. This ain't going to do it. I can get you to 6 or 8, but that's as far as I can go.
Yeah.
Well, no, I want to do the full depth of cut at 1,200 inches a minute. Well, good luck.
Wow.
Good luck. You better call somebody else.
Well,
Yeah,
that's tooling.
I used to cut full depth at 350 inches per minute with a 3/8 compression, but that was industrial machine.
Mhm.
Any faster than that, it gets a little sketchy.
Does it start to scream right before it breaks?
Yeah. And the other problem you have is holding the material down at that speed.
There you go. So a 24 by 24 Axiom Iconic is what she has.
Nice.
There you go. Liver mush, biscuit, gravy, scrambled eggs, the best breakfast. He's not too far off. You know what you have to have, though? Crazy enough as it is, you got to have slaw. Got to have slaw to go with that.
You want to know?
You're from
wanna hear-
Hawaii. You don't count.
I'm not from Hawaii. What the hell? No. But that's North Carolina way right there. Mustard and slaw and everything. Everything. Chili and slaw.
I do have a funny breakfast story from Workbench.
Yes.
They
Please
had
tell.
They had in that main event area that I showed you with all those tables, they had that's where they had breakfast. And that's one thing that was kind of bad there. It was hard to communicate with everybody because there's so many people everywhere. So not everybody got all the messages. And they told us, most of everybody, that that's where the breakfast was going to be. And then the next morning, that Nick that I had the picture with, he went to the main lobby area. They were having a separate breakfast there for a different event. He makes his plate, gets pancakes and syrup all on it, and he's looking around. He's like, "Where is everybody?" The guy that works there says he's seen his name tag. He said, "Oh, you're with the other group?" He's like, "That's up there." And he's like, "Oh, can I take this with me?" And he said, "Sorry, I can't do that." So he had to throw away the old breakfast plate he made.
I believe I would have ate it and then gone join the other
Yeah.
group.
Yeah,
I'll just stand over here by the wall eating my breakfast.
Well, can I stand here and consume it then?
I would have preferred the pancakes. I would have just said, "Oh, this ain't my name tag. I don't know where that came from."
Yeah. They make really good buns.
There was another event going on. It was like some kind of baseball cards and Pokemon cards or something. I don't know. We were trying to figure it out, but we weren't sure where that one was. But we heard people talking about it in the hotel.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to figure out about what that's going to cost to go to the show, go to get a hotel and all that stuff and travel. And, by the end, gas will be $17 a gallon. And so I'll have to factor that in with my little truck. And I'm going to have to take some time off from Klingspor's woodworking shop next year and just go.
Yeah.
And I won't tag them at all while I'm there.
Tag Learn Your CNC.
That's right. Yeah. Not sponsored to go to Workbench Con.
No, I'm going to be tagging. We need to get some. If I go down there, I'll have to get some Whatnot podcast stickers.
There you go.
Yeah, you say that, and I think it's very interesting that this year I was looking at a lot of these stickers, and there's a lot more podcasts in there than there were 2 years ago.
I definitely noticed that when I was there. A lot of people talking about podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody was talking about ours though. But
I should have got some stickers from you. I would have spread them out.
Yeah.
That's what we can use our Patreon money for, is making stickers.
There you go.
There you go. Let me know where you stay and I'll crash on your floor. That's probably some of the best part of it, is being able just to hang out with people that you know at the hotel. Like, yeah, the Workbench Con's great and all, but being able to just sit and hang out like you did with Izzy, just having a conversation, like that whole thing right there is just worth it to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, Gerald, if I knew you were going to do that, I would just get a a room with double beds, and then you could just have the other bed. I wouldn't have you sleep on the floor.
Yeah, Chris, I had a double bed and it was empty. You could have crashed in that bed.
You didn't want him crashing during that time. Weren't you sick still, or getting over it at that time? Oh no, you were fine. Never mind. I'm sorry. That was last week, wasn't it? Yeah, my bad. It all runs together.
Oh, that was last month, Mike. Last month was when I was sick.
Gosh, Sorry.
Most of February.
I got another workbench story for you. The first night they had there's a bar / restaurant in the main lobby of the hotel, and the hotel I should have sent you a picture. It's in my my Instagram stories. But the hotel was like this big. It's 14 stories high, and it's hollow in the middle, and the rooms are on the outside, and there's a roof over it. So it's basically a big echo chamber. And I was on the 7th floor, and you can hear everybody in the hotel lobby. Like you can hear them laughing and everything. So
well into the night.
Yeah, the first night I went to my room like 10 something, and people were out till like 2 a.m. all making noise down there. And I guess the next day there was a lot of complaints from the hotel. So the next night, the second night, they moved the party at night to the main gathering area for the conference room. So that actually was that second night was really fun. Everybody gathered up there. There's a lot more people. They had like a open bar there. They gave you like 2 free drink tickets when you went in. And then they had a DJ. They had snacks. It was pretty good.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's because Gary's not kidding. We had a lot of fun, even trying to find something to eat. Because when we were there, they only had like 2 people at the bar running the whole thing, and it was a 2-hour wait, maybe if you were lucky, to get food. So we had to go run and find some stuff. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, Gary. I'm glad you were there for that. Dan has a question. What software would you recommend for taking a picture from a camera and converting it into the CNC?
Depends on what kind of project you're looking at. It's like a picture of a person that you want to engrave. I would say the photo VCarve options of Vectric, which is now built into the software. Or if you're trying to, let's say, replicate a part, say you take a picture of a part you're trying to replicate, I would recommend tracing it with VCarve or Aspire, whatever you're using, and then you can cut it out that way. I do actually have some lessons on that in the live course, the live training course.
There you go.
Yeah.
academy.learnyourcnc.com.
And that's what I like about the Vectric software is no matter what kind of image you have, you literally can import that into any of their variant and then begin tracing it or etching it or, whatever you want to do to it. So I like that.
Yeah.
Very, very good software, well thought out.
The biggest issue with that, though, that I see a lot of people do is using a blurry image, and they try to auto trace it using their bitmap trace feature, and it's a messy file, and then they don't clean it up, and they just try to cut it, and they have a lot of issues with that. So a lot of times I recommend, if it's a blurry image, just manually tracing it, which takes a little bit more time, but you end up with a lot cleaner result.
So let me ask you this, because if it comes down to something that I need to recreate a part, I'm just curious how this would work. Is there a certain ratio, like a 1-to-1 ratio or anything like that for someone who wants to take the picture of something to help them kind of get that set up?
All right. So one thing I recommend, if it's a bigger part, not just taking one single picture of it. On most phones now, you have what's it called, panorama view or panorama picture, and you can actually move the camera parallel to the actual part, and that gives you a good perspective of the part rather than that triangle perspective view you get with a regular camera. You're getting a more straight up and down vertical view of it, so that will give you a much accurate tracing of it.
That's a great idea.
When you import it, it's going to be a small little picture, and I actually have a trick that I did some training on how to scale that to make it full size. So what I like to do is sometimes take a tape measure in the picture or something I can reference from, draw a line. Let's say I have a 12-inch ruler in there. I'll draw a line from end to end of the ruler, and then on the software, you can scale that line to be 12 inches with the picture. And when you do that, it's going to be exactly 1-to-1 scaling.
And this is the kind of information people can get at academy.learnyourcnc.com.
Yep.
Because see that right there, the simple fact of putting the tape measure in there for scaling afterwards, genius.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of that back in my old job. We were always trying to match. We would get templates from some building in New York City. Then we had to match the curve or something, an actual finished piece of material. So we did a lot of that.
That's a great idea. That'll work out.
I'll have to try that. I've been making squares or circles the size of the part, and then scaling it to fit inside that square or circle based on the known dimension.
Okay. Yeah. Even if you had even if there's a hole in the part and you knew the size of the hole, you can make that circle traced on there and scale that with it.
Matter of fact, I think Tools Today had a post on that today or yesterday, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Matt bought some little hooks, and they were doing a long board. And so he laid it out in Vectric and measured the width and the height of the hook. And then he made a rectangle the size of that dimension. And that way then he scaled the image down so it would be placed perfectly inside the rectangle. And then he went in and made his circles where the screw holes would go.
Oh, okay.
And then once he got one, then he copy arrayed them across the whole thing so they would all be even. And he went ahead and pre-drilled all of his holes in the board.
Nice. Yep. The same concept there.
Steve says that he watched that scaling class and it was awesome.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, a lot of people seem to really like that tip. I showed it 3 times in that class because everybody was just like, whoa, how do you do that?
I mean, it really is a great idea. It's a great reference. You know it's going to be exact. I just wonder how someone like Gerald, who has the traditional woodworking, is listening to this thinking, okay, so you're lining up screw holes. Like, wouldn't it just be faster if, and we've always had this question, Chris and I have, as far as if you had one piece of wood, identical, would it be faster to go and, make it traditionally, or would it be faster to CNC it? And I don't know how we're going to do that, but that would be a great run.
Well, if you think about it, though, it depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, in this case, like I mentioned with the Tools Today post, he was making, I think that thing had 15 hooks across it. Well, all he's really got to do is measure and get the one put up there. And literally once you press copy array times 15, it's evenly spaced all the way across. There's no math involved. And if you're traditional woodworking, I'm out there doing this or using my little fake measuring jig that kind of spaces out with the tool. But I mean, there's times traditional woodworking is the way to go, and then there's times where CNC is the way to go.
Yeah,
I'm on the fence where I can literally go either way. I'm not Roy Underhill. I'm not going to hand crank a drill to drill a hole, but still.
Yeah, well, it definitely depends on the application. I've seen some people try to over engineer stuff, and you're like, you could probably just cut that in the table size just as easy or even easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Like with your shelves there, it would make sense to do the sides on CNC because of those, that it's basically like a zigzag cut.
Yeah.
But to cut the actual part that's holding the cans in on the table saw.
Yep.
So maybe we got to find a project that might be equally
matched.
Yeah.
And have a build off. CNC versus traditional woodwork.
I look at your sides of your cabinet, and all I see is stair stringers.
Yeah, it's like basically what it is.
He agrees with you, Chris. Gerald agrees with you.
I don't know about what, but I'll just assume it means everything I've said.
But it'd be good to find some sort of project that might be balanced, and just to find out which would be easier setup wise. Like if it's a miter, for instance, like a picture frame. Because you just did your video on picture frames, Chris, and it kind of had my mind going as far as like, could you not cut the half laps on a CNC? Could you not cut the miters on the CNC?
You could if your material fit on the CNC properly. But my whole goal with that particular project was to do it all using normal traditional woodworking tools. I did and I don't think I haven't posted it yet. I did a video where I drew out a complete picture frame on a piece of wood, miters and all, and cut everything out on the CNC and made a little 5x7. Well, it's actually bigger than 5x7, but it held a 5x7 photo, and it was all done on the CNC cutting into barnwood. And I've also got a video where I've used nothing but my micro jig sled to create those angles and cut everything like that. And I'm planning on putting that video together where I'm showcasing, look, you can go traditional or you can go modern. they both work. But the key is if you've got a small CNC, that limits you to some of the things. So that's why it's important as woodworkers that you know those traditional techniques, because that helps you understand the concepts of what you're trying to do on the CNC and whether or not you'll be successful at some of those things.
Makes
At
sense.
least that's my take on it anyway.
Yeah, another thing that really comes down to is if you're just making one single project and it's something that's not too hard with traditional tools, then go for that rather than spending a lot of time designing them for CNC. But if you're trying to repeat a project many times over, then it might be worth it to go the CNC route.
So we just got to find a project and we can make that happen. My dreams will come true, which would actually be faster.
Well, it depends. If Kyle's designing, then he's going to win.
That's an advantage, yeah.
Yeah. So if we're going to do that project, we're going to let Kyle design it.
That would make a good
'cause-
video. You just have a traditional woodworker, a CNC woodworker, then starting from an idea, and then they both have to design it. One's on the computer, one's on sketch on a paper or something, and then using traditional tools in a CNC machine.
Wow, you said CNC woodworker. I'm surprised there wasn't burning ears all over the woodworking community from people who are like, CNC is not real woodworking.
I'm glad YouTube took down the dislike button or the thumbs down button.
Yeah. I'm glad you did that after the 1 hour.
Still there.
mark.
It's still there. You just can't see who thumbed down.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't hurt us that way.
Yeah.
Let's see here. John says if we have a one-off part, traditional machines are faster, but if you need to be spot on multiple parts, CNC is the way to go. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I've got a project coming up, and Mike, you're more than familiar with this project. It's the speaker box your dad does with all of them flipping angles that are in there. And I've been just trying to figure out how to get a good photograph of the entire board because of the angle problem. I even broke down and took small segment photographs, and I was going to import them all into a editing software and patch them together to create that one large image, because I'm going to make some jigs based on his premise, and it's going to be quite fun, to say the least.
So you're going to try the panoramic camera mode and then the ruler as well, because that trick would probably work just fine for that.
Well, yeah, I may give that panoramic a try. I've never tried the panorama view. I've done other things. I've used the ruler and other scaled items as reference before, but this piece is going to have, all the measurements are already there and all the angles are already there. So if I don't have to recreate the wheel, I was hoping I could just copy it and just make sure my angles were correct when they butted up so that I can make the jigs.
I don't think I have I know I have a picture of that somewhere, if it's the MG944 one or whatever they call them now, where it's just that really weird tons of angles.
Yeah, I've got a picture if you want me to send it to you of the inside of the part.
Well, I probably got to ask him first if we're allowed to show that, because I know the one time he didn't want to show it off.
Yeah,
I think he didn't want to show it off because he had a bunch of tape on it to hold it together.
Well, this is a completely built speaker, but only one side's missing on purpose.
Okay. Let's see here. Natasha says I used to hand carve what I needed to do, so the CNC, even for 2D carving, I do is faster.
Nice.
I don't know. I just got to find we got to find the project. I think if us three came together, so the design aspect of it, the traditional aspect of it, and then just made a competition, whoever wants to do it. And then basically traditional woodworkers can do it, and then CNC can do it, and just let everyone kind of go at it and see what they come up with.
That would be a fun project. Mm-hmm. Hey, I forgot to mention too, I now have an app for the new course too. So
we can't keep up with you, man. You're just
if you're mobile, you have an app so you can watch the lessons whenever you want.
So you have access to all of your videos through an app.
Yep.
You get better and better every time, I'm telling you.
I try.
A butter mold. That's what Gerald's going to go with, a butter mold as a project. Let's see what we got here.
Is that like a mold where you melt butter in and then it hardens to the mold? Is that what that is?
I have absolutely no idea. Sorry about that, Gerald. I don't. I really don't. Well, and he does like really traditional things from Appalachia. Let's see here. That should work.
He's beyond my level. He would be like on level 14 if this was LearnYourCNC.com levels.
Yeah, as soon as you get to level 12, you go to traditional woodworking. That would be funny. Yeah, I need to get that app. I need to get that app too. Oh, there we go. Make butter and it molds it to that shape. Okay. So hand carving that out.
I think the CNC might have an advantage there.
Yeah. But it depends on the shape. So let's see. I got.
Oh, Steve asked if the app is live now. Technically it is, but we won't have access to it till Monday when I switch over. Yeah, when you switch over to the new course, you'll have access to it.
So Fred, the new website, let me get it, is academy.learnyourcnc.com.
Yeah, Fred, I'll send you an email Monday to access that site. He's a student of mine. So
by the way,
all the
Kyle
students
keeps up with all of his students. He knows them all.
Mm-hmm.
All
he really does.
1,300 of them.
Fred, he's from Southern Virginia, and he's got a wife and 3 children. And George, he's over there from.
And you think we're joking, but at the same time, talking to Kyle in the backstage area, if you will, before the show, it's he's like, oh yeah, this is that guy, and that's this person, and yeah, he knows. It's great.
I try to keep up. Can't keep up with all of them, but there's some familiar faces.
So these are the angles he's talking about.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah, is it though?
A lot of angles.
Yeah, and not a one of them are 45 or 90.
Not one of them are regular.
One of them looks like a 90 there. Close to it.
It looks like it, but it's actually, I think it's
89.
Like, yeah, it's like 88 or something like that. It's just off from it. That's why that bracket's in there to hold them in place.
Wow.
So what it is this is a folded horn. So it's tapering the entire time wider and wider until it gets to the opening. And this is how you naturally gain volume and decibels without using any kind of power, is a horn. And that was my dad's design. I'm pretty sure that was his, to where he could do it all in one compact speaker that sits on the floor.
Wow.
That's a whole nother realm.
Yeah, I've made a simple speaker box before, but nothing that crazy.
Same.
Yeah, even the simple speaker boxes aren't simple.
Well, mine was just a box with 2 holes in it.
I wish I could go back to those days. Like now, all of a sudden, it's totally different. Is it a cup with a hole and a plunger with a design? Okay, so that's what a butter mold is.
Oh, yeah.
That is how they did the sound in the old Victrolas. That's right. That design was actually based off of the old horns that they had in movie theaters back in the day. Acoustats. Anyway, so we've hit the 1 hour mark. We're going to get into audio. It's going to get crazy around here. Tell you what. So LearnYourCNC.com now. Well, as of Monday, going to be academy.learnyourcnc.com, where you can get, how many was it? Oh my gosh, so many.
7
levels.
Plus the boot camp.
And the boot camp is very cool. I've personally gone through that. Man, I love it. Great job.
Chris got an early sneak peek.
He was a tester.
We used him as the test dummy.
I'll be the test dummy that doesn't have a CNC and just asks all these questions like, what's this for? Why do you have this? What are you doing with that?
I'll just waste your time. Right. No, what Mike will do is he'll come behind the video and he'll timestamp it and tell you where you were wrong and call you out on all your flaws.
At 2 minutes and 14 seconds, you said this.
Well, you didn't like my comment on your video.
No. That's what I like. I need that. I mean, how else are you going to grow if, I mean, nobody tells you where you forgot to take out one of the default editing pieces,
What's funny is I'm sitting there watching it and I'm just thinking to myself, like, I should just timestamp this in the comment while I'm watching it and just write out my little comment. I'll be that guy today. So you got the first trial of that. Good night, Connor's dad. Appreciate you working so late.
Whatever it is
Crazy.
you're doing. Yeah.
Exactly. Sleeping. Thanks for the info, says John. Tasha says, thanks so much. So appreciate everybody who's watching tonight, coming over from LearnYourCNC.com, which is going to be academy.learnyourcnc.com.
And one more announcement.
Yeah.
New beginner bits coming soon. Got some.
What does this mean?
CNC bits, router bits.
Right.
Learn your CNC bits coming soon.
Nice. I thought that was a tube of like lip balm or something.
No. This might hurt a little. It's a little sharp.
Yeah.
Do they have your branding on them?
Yes, they do.
Oh, that's so cool.
I can't see in the camera, but
autofocus.
Yeah.
There's too much yellow.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Awesome. Give you the little golf
clap. Yep.
Yeah.
I'd clap, but then it would grab these cords and it would not go well.
Yeah, that's why I had to go high.
Great job, Kyle.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, Gary will he'll be there to check it out once he gets a CNC, because that'll happen for him.
Well, Gary,
hasn't yet.
It's important to go there before you buy your CNC, because Kyle has lots of resources on his website as well to help you pick the right CNC that's right for you, not the one that Izzy says you need.
Nick from Stated Wood Co. He just signed up. He's getting ready for his new machine. He's got the Phantom. He's got ordered.
Nice.
I see it all over social media is selling the Avid.
Yeah.
Scott, one of our Patreons, he was asking me if I saw that. He said, "Is that a good machine?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Is that the one Izzy had?" I went, "Yeah." He said, "So it's pretty good." I said, "Well, I've used it. It's a good machine, and for him, that would be perfect, because Scott does a lot of cabinets and cutting up sheet goods. So might eliminate some of his saw stop needs."
There you go. A lot of that time behind the saw stop. And if you're interested in becoming a Patreon, so you can join us backstage and ask questions to the guest and whatever you may want to do, just hang out with us while basically I create the intro, because I keep forgetting to do that until the last minute. Join us at patreon.com, Whatnot Podcast.
Yeah, I didn't know that backstage thing was a thing you guys had. I think that's definitely worth it.
I felt bad for, when we had our little lapse there for February, I felt bad that they were contributing and we didn't have anything extra. And I thought, why not just invite them in?
Yeah.
We're all here getting ready and putting together the graphics and, talking about what the graphics we have, blah, blah, blah. So
good opportunity.
I'm still putting my makeup on at that time. So,
Yeah, that took a while.
It did take a while. He got really red too.
Yeah.
Need more makeup. But yeah. Check us out. Join us. Tell your friends. Whatnot Podcast, where we interview people about.
Oh yeah, we didn't ask him that question.
Yeah, gotta find. Well, you did say the hot seat. Okay, so the hot seat, Kyle. Who you want to throw into the hot seat? Who do you want to see take the punishment for the third time or first time?
We have
so you don't have to answer now.
Names,
you can answer later. But
I bet you my buddy Nick there from the one I met there at Workbench. I bet he would do it. Yeah.
Nick would that would be a good one.
Yeah,
he does a lot of built-in furniture, and he's been working full time for himself for a while, so he probably have a lot.
Well, that sounds like, and you know what? You're the first one to actually give us a name, so you're the winner of the grand prize.
Oh, what'd I win?
A return trip anytime you like.
A return trip. From where?
To the Whatnot Podcast.
Oh,
How about free advertisement of Learn Your CNC Academy at academy.learnyourcnc.com? I can do it that way. That's how I'll do it.
I thought I was getting a return flight from somewhere.
Oh, well, from
not
nowhere.
that kind of trip.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of fun do you think this place has? I mean, tell you what, you drive down through Conover, and then I'll drive the rest of the way to Atlanta. How's that?
There you go.
All right, we'll finish the trip out together. And then on your way back, you can stay the night at my house, and then that way you're fresh and ready to go back to work the next day.
On my way home, I was in Charlotte for a 3-hour layover. So that was actually a pretty nice airport there.
Yeah, it is
A lot of
nice
good
air
Well,
freight.
it is now.
Yeah.
I was doing traveling every week when it was under construction. It was a nightmare.
Well, the only bad thing was the pilot bragged how early we're going to be there. We got there a half hour early. He was bragging about it, and then the jet bridge got stuck, so we were stuck on the tarmac for 30 minutes. He's like, "Well, good thing we got here 30 minutes early."
Yeah, welcome to Charlotte.
They weren't ready for it.
Mm,
What
awesome.
airline was it, by the way? I'm curious.
It was American, but he said that the airline doesn't maintain those. He's like, he said the county or the city maintains those.
Right. No, just because, yeah, just curious. I like pilots that are confident. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Makes me feel better about the trip.
Yeah, I had a good flight though. I had no issues there.
Well, we thank everyone for watching. We hope everybody will check out LearnYourCNC.com, soon to be academy.learnyourcnc.com. Kyle, appreciate you coming on again, watching
Yes,
us
sir.
every week when you do. We do appreciate it.
I appreciate the invite back. It's always a
And
good time.
And I'm glad you had a good laugh on the intro. I was thinking about how could I do this? And I saw a CNC video file and I was like, oh, that's what we'll do. So I'm glad you had a good laugh at it. I appreciate you not being all mad, like, oh, yeah. Appreciate it.
Not a problem.
All right. So
Thank you, sir.
check us out on all your favorite social media stuff. And yeah. Well, hold on. I got a banner for this. Wait, there we go. We're also
look at
available on
that.
Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms now that I stopped being the slacker.
Hey, there was nobody rushing you to get it done.
Yeah, it's just a personal thing. I know.
Good night, Steve.
All right. So everybody, thank you again for joining us. Whatnot Podcast. I'm Mike Z.
I'm Chris.
I'm
and this
Kyle.
is Kyle. LearnYourCNC.com. Have a great night.
See you later.